Welcome to We Know Marketing, We Promise. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Naoma, and this is a show about how to actually build a brand that works. Welcome back. And
like looking at the timer, sorry.
I know.
Anyways, welcome back.
Welcome back. The timer has been cleared.
It is cleared.
We are this is going to be a brainstorm episode in real time. So
we're going to process,
buckle up,
because we've been doing this show for a year now, and we've seen a lot of failure, but we've also seen a lot of success.
Yeah.
And so we want to talk about kind of what this last year looked like, what we noticed from the analytics as we re-strategized for year two, and also run through.
And we have some ideas up our sleeves that we really just want your input from.
Yes. We want to hear from you.
Because we have each built businesses asking nobody any questions.
Yes.
And so I think this time we're actually going to ask questions before we jump into something new.
Yeah. Because our goal from the beginning has always been to provide you guys with valuable insight from mistakes and experiences that we've lived through as we've run businesses, and as we've been entrepreneurs, and as we've been solopreneurs, and as we've not even labeled ourselves agency owners, leading a team, firing a team, having kids in the midst of it. Like, we want...
living a pandemic, living through a war. That's fine.
Oh, it's a little too soon. So yeah, that's the goal. Like, we want to show up for you guys specifically as women and provide things that are valuable. So if it's not valuable, we want to know.
One, we don't want to do it.
Exactly. It's a waste of our time.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, we're hardly here right now, but these analytics are what pull me in. They just get my heart.
You are an analytics person.
I am. Okay, so Naoma, what's a piece of feedback that has stuck with you the most from a listener, and something someone said that made you think, okay, maybe this is actually resonating. Maybe this is actually going to work?
I don't know if it's... I mean, we've gotten a lot of lovely DMs, and I've gotten lovely DMs personally, of people implementing the things that we talk about, or that they just are like, I feel not alone, which obviously feels really great, because I don't think that there are a lot of women podcasts that talk about this that are not so frou-frou. And that was kind of one of our goals. So I'm excited to still be doing that for that reason. But I think the feedback that sticks with me is when people kind of recognize us in the street. And they're like, oh, I've seen you on the podcast, right? Or they're like, oh, I really liked that episode about blah, 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 blah. I think that's kind of what warms my heart, not really the analytics.
Yeah, the relational piece.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
What about you?
That makes sense.
What's a piece of feedback that has lived with you? Because you were like, I have one. And I was like, I don't have one.
Yeah. A girl that listens to our podcast often sent me a text that she said, I wish I could repost this. And everything we were talking about in the episode was very validating for her, because she was working as a marketing director and social media manager for a few companies, I guess, and was just reaching an absolute state of burnout. And we gave her tactical things to actually do from that episode. And that actually influenced her decision making in the process of feeling burned out and everything. So that was really cool for me, because I was able to see, and we've had DMs all throughout this last year,
especially in recent
it really
months.
has made an impact on people's lives and how they're running their businesses. They don't have money to hire a social media strategist or a team or do their brand strategy yet, and the things that they're learning from us and they're implementing are working to increase their business's revenue and to allow them to work with people that they've always wanted to work with, and they haven't had the ability to do that, or allowing them to make a decision to potentially go off and be an entrepreneur, which I think is what ended up happening with this person that messaged me.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the being able to implement or just learn from some of the mistakes that we've had to do, go through, and them not having to go through those mistakes, like, that's a win for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, everyone goes like, you have to go through your own mistakes, but if you can learn from someone else's, like you'll make different ones, but maybe you can get there faster
Yeah,
than we did, maybe with a less pain. But I don't know. I think all of it
it's
is painful.
all
And we're honest about that. Like we're honest about how hard it is.
yeah, I
And
was
honestly, like the ways that sometimes the podcast has had to take the back burner
yeah.
because
Yeah, because life.
life and
Um,
needing to show up for the business at the end of last year, but we were honest about those conversations. I think that's
yeah.
what I'm hearing a lot from people too is they they love how different we think. I hear that a lot too. We are very different. And so for us to do a podcast together is actually really cool because a lot of people just would do a podcast with someone that's very like-minded. We are very, very different though.
Mhm.
And so that has been feedback that I've gotten as well. And sometimes people are trying to trace like, okay, where's Naomi going with that? I can tell where Kelsey's going with that, or I can tell where Naomi's going with that. Where's Kelsey going with this? Because we really do think so differently.
Well, yeah, I don't think any of our episodes have been one through line. I think it's been definitely a scramble, like your life of entrepreneurship. So,
Absolutely.
ups and downs.
Yes.
Um, but okay, what's the next question?
So the next question is there a topic we've covered that you feel like we've only scratched the surface on and you've been wanting to go back to?
Ooh,
Mhm.
I don't kn I feel like I need more time to think through that. I don't know, I feel like we've talked a l I am more shocked that we keep talking. Like
I'm not. The amount of times we've sat down and had a margarita, 2 margaritas, 5 hours yapping. I'm like, now we just put podcast mics in front of us.
Yeah, but I
I think
mean
what I think we've kind of started to scratch the surface on is like after I went back and listened and our early episodes,
oof, oof.
and obviously quality has gotten so much better. Thank you to Taylor Moore. And we've also gotten more consistent with recording. It has not been stressful to do the podcast the last 6 months, but previously it was very stressful for me, and I can see that in how we were showing up and the content we were actually creating and
Yes.
the things we were talking about, and I do feel like we got more comfortable, and we both, I think, are more vulnerable and a little bit more raw on the podcast than we are in our personal
Real
brand
life.
content. Or
Yeah.
I mean, this is what you get if you, like, go to dinner with us or something,
Yeah, it really is. You're welcome.
but that's something people have said. They're like, "I see this whole other side to you and Naomi with the podcast," and it really resonates because I think we're just being authentically, like, who we are. So, I think pressing more into that, like, the business coach part 1 and part 2, performed really well, and that was so much of us just, like, telling our story,
Mm,
you know? And so I think I would love to go back to different topics and share stories
mm,
of mistakes we've made, what it looked like in our agency, what it looked like for me, what it looked like for you. Because as we've done these, I've realized we have very different experiences,
yeah.
but people think that it's like, I think we can be very small minded with like, oh yeah, we go through the same things. Like we run an agency, and it's like, no, we have very different experiences.
Yeah.
So I think sharing more of the stories is what I feel like we're like barely scratching the surface on.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I also think that we could go a little bit even deeper into, like, the value of branding and the value of the strategy. I think we talk about why it's important and, like, how to either create your own or go back to it or reference it and why you need to create one, but I don't know if we go into, like, the depth of the value of those pieces
Yeah.
and how to expand more.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we've talked enough about brand debt and brand equity and compounding and the effect of how brand and social combine to like tell stories and compound over time. Like, I don't think we've really talked a lot about that yet.
Yeah, and I don't think we have strategically done that even with our episode outlines, because that's the other thing is they would subconsciously be picking up on that if we were strategically planning our episodes in a way that they were also compounding.
Yeah.
And I think we that's something we talked about wanting to be more strategic in even how we outline our episodes,
Yeah.
because with what we talk about, like, everything should be building, and we run everything through the brand, but we're not necessarily planning a content plan that compounds, and I really wanna move more into that
Yeah.
because I think they would subtly be picking up on that too, and as we're doing it, we obviously would hit on those topics
Yeah.
a lot deeper, which I agree. Um,
I do want to just say we have full-time jobs. This is not it. So, and we're both moms. Like this is you're welcome.
I was gonna say the opposite and say, "Thank you guys for listening for a year," and I was literally thinking that was where you were going with it, which is, like, so typical because 'cause we're very different people. But I was literally thinking like, "Man, I'm so grateful to be sitting here and this to be fun," because in the beginning stages, I was not sure I was gonna be able to continue to do it, and
Because
I
it
was
was not
so
fun because the tech sucked.
the tech sucked and I was so sick. Like, I think it was
Okay.
more that I was so sick and my margin and capacity was so low, but now, like, I'm healthy and feel really good, and we have the tech figured out. So, I feel very, like, excited and pumped to, like, move
Yeah.
forward and even figure out ways that we can provide more value to them. And so, really, thank you, and thank you for sharing, and thank you for,
Yeah, and thank you
uh
for like letting us into your life and like listening to us gab.
yeah, and the people that have taken our advice, like, I don't take that lightly that people are listening to what I'm saying and actually doing something. I don't take that lightly at all, and I'm very careful about what I tell people to do or not do because there's just a weight you should hold with that. Like, when you have authority to speak into someone's life and business and things like that, you should hold that with a weight.
Yeah.
And so I really do, and I've always appreciated when you guys have given us feedback, good and critical. I haven't really gotten
I
much.
don't think we've gotten a lot of critical, but feel
Some.
free.
Yeah.
Feel free
Bring
to
it on.
um I was talking to somebody recently about the podcast and they're like it would be really cool if you and Kelsey did like a live recording like around all these people.
Oh, that would be
That's your
fun.
face and my face was like hell
Mhm.
no.
We should totally do that. So if that's something you guys wanna do, which does move me into the next segment of our questions, to kinda talk about what we want to build into this next year. I love that idea. I love the idea of doing a
Fun.
live recording or not even recording it, but do like long term, I think it would be so fun to have people come and watch us do an episode, but we're not actually recording it, if that makes sense. Like we do like almost like a show. Um,
That just instilled panic
I don't know
into
if you
me.
I don't know if people like ask questions, need to look into this more, but it would be cool if you could ask the audience questions and then you and I like
Oh, I would
gab
love
about it or
that.
whatever.
I think for me, I would not wanna figure out the tech. So, Taylor, you would
Taylor
have
would do
to
that.
figure that out.
He has no issue with that. Yeah, so I think we have thought through a lot of different options on further providing value even outside of the content that we're doing on this podcast, whether that be a monthly Zoom call that's over lunch.
Like a community
Yeah, a We Know Marketing community, a Patreon account.
where
Um,
you have, like, access to resources, like, if we were to put together, like, what are like, how we would go through a quarterly review, like, those kind of PDFs are in a
yes,
Patreon for you to utilize. Um,
how to audit your social utilizing this entire framework that I use and give you guys the resources that I use within my agency that you might not have access to because you can't hire a marketing agency to do your stuff. Like we want to help you grow as entrepreneurs and grow your businesses knowing that you might not be able to hire Nuevo or Stevie to do your stuff. So how do
Yeah.
we provide value
Yeah.
and give you guys something that you actually can't afford? And that would be
Well, not
something like
just
that.
like afford, but like that what's gonna really give you value. So we were thinking like if there's a we know marketing, we promise community and it involved like a private Slack channel and you had a month access to us in a monthly call to ask any questions if you wanted us to look over anything. Um anything like that. Like that's probably something we could do. We could do a mastermind, could do a workshop. I mean, we could do
A lot of different
a lot of
things.
the different things. And the reason we're kind of pulling this into the podcast and asking you all blatantly is because Kelsey and I have started our own things asking nobody except for Google at the time. And then we started this podcast not really even asking anybody in our circles, really. We just came up with it and then we did it and launched it with nobody really knowing.
Yeah, it's very
Um
true.
so so this is more of a building in public
Yeah.
version of which we've never done. I've never built in public. I've always built behind the scenes and then released. So this would be a building in public potential.
Yeah, and the main thing is like we want to practice what we're talking about. So if we're telling you guys to not skirt around what you want to offer the people that you're talking to, like why would we do that here?
Yep.
And we've also had people reach out that have gotten a lot of value out of it. And so one, if it doesn't bring value, we're not doing it. So
Yeah.
that's why we're asking you. And it has to be something, that's obviously sustainable.
Yeah.
But we do we want to do what we're talking about. Like we're telling you to have a call to action, yet we've not said one single call to action on this podcast,
No,
which
we
we're
have
just trying to
not.
get our bearings
Yeah. We're
over the last year.
listen, yeah, listen.
But now we can ask.
Yeah, now we can ask. Now there will be a call to action. We're just wanting to see what you want that call to action to be.
Yeah, exactly. What would be most useful to you personally? And then obviously people that you're talking to, other business owners or entrepreneurs in your circle, ask them. Or what are things you hear them saying over dinner or drinks that would be beneficial in the marketing space of things? And when we're thinking about marketing, is like we want to help your businesses grow in revenue.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
about like a marketing supper club?
with wine
Ooh. Ooh.
and pizza. I'm just kidding. Clearly, I'm
No, then you
hungry.
can really see us slightly unhinged.
Okay, so then how do we want them to tell us? You just want them to like leave a comment, email us,
I
go to
think
our website.
email us, email us.
Let's do email. One thing.
Yeah, email us at and the email I actually took it off our website. Um,
Well, it'll be back up by the time this episode's over,
yeah.
or by the time this episode's live.
Yeah, we'll drop it in the show notes so that you can email us. Um, feel free or leave a comment on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah. We post a lot of content on social media, so leave us a comment or send us an email. What would be beneficial?
And we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Anything
Thanks.
else?
I don't think so. Is there anything else that we didn't answer?
One thing we didn't talk about is that we send out an email.
Oh, that's hilarious. We do.
And I was like, I'm pretty sure. I'm really glad I thought of that.
Oh
We send
no.
out an email. So if you want to be on that email list, that's another way too that you can.
Yeah. We should have an opt-in. Wow, we are bad at marketing for our own selves for this podcast right now. We're gonna
We're gonna fix it.
we're gonna
I
mediate
mean, but
that.
we are posting on social. We're doing the podcast and we're sending the newsletter. We're just not telling anyone.
Yeah. So we're also on Substack. You can
Yeah.
follow us there. We write a brief episode. We write a brief blog about each episode that goes out on Substack. You can follow us there. Obviously follow the podcast and then join the newsletter and you'll get the email so you know when new episodes drop. Also, if you have been listening and you have found this podcast at all helpful,
Hmm.
or you're just like, I just love hearing these two women yap, please leave us a review on wherever you listen to podcasts. Those like help so much.
Mhm.
Um, our goal really this next year is to either really grow this podcast or grow the community, um, and really kind of put some true effort behind it now that we have the tech behind us
Yeah.
and we have the consistency muscle built. We're really looking at that growth and scale phase, but we want to make sure that whatever we're building is highly intentional. But those reviews really help us. And if you know of anybody that this would be really helpful, please share
Share
this
it with them. Yeah.
podcast with them.
Yeah, because our overall goal is, like, right now, the last year, it's kinda felt like it's just me and Naoma, and we want a community. Like, we wanna have conversations with you guys. We wanna hear about the actual day-to-day struggles that you're going through, and be a friend that can just, like, sit on the couch with you on hard days and then, have pizza and wine on a joyful day when we need to celebrate. Like, we don't want it to just be us anymore. Like, we really do want a community of women that we can also be around, and that's why we're doing this episode. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, everything that she said, all the things that we do, and we hope to hear from you. It would mean so much, so much to me if you guys shot us an email, left us a comment, and gave us the feedback. So thank you in advance.
Okay.
Bye. And that's a wrap on this episode.
If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, leave a review, or share it with a friend.